this heifer calf. She kind of surprised us. We brought her in the barn. We didn't realize she'd already calved, so we got darn lucky. I'm thinking about naming her Trinity. What's up, guys?
Just sitting here watching. I'm watching the truck.
Watching the big truck?
Yep, and Connor.
And Connor.
Mom?
Okay, you guys stay right here, okay?
Yep.
You can see we got some rain. We got about an inch of rain last night. And we got a load of hay. Figure with how dry it's been that we're probably not going to see much more hay crop. So we figured instead of spending the money on fertilizer for the hay, which might not do anything, figure we'll just put that money towards buying some hay. And depending on how the summer goes, we might end up having to buy enough hay to replace what we would normally get for our corn too, but fingers crossed that we'll get enough rain to keep the corn going. We'll get some corn silage too, but we're grateful for the inch of rain we got, and we're grateful for the hay. We're using the track skid steer this time. And here's all the details. $113 relative feed value, relative forage quality 186. It says 26% for soluble protein. The puddle temptation.
Everybody, it's Tuesday, June 30th today. Just kind of giving you guys an update on the drought situation here. It's looking a lot better. We were very blessed with some really nice rain. I think we've gotten about just under 2 inches, I think, so far, and it's been a nice rain. Really spread out, nice and slow. No severe storms with it. I know there's some places in southern Minnesota, Wisconsin that got like 7 or 8 inches, like in one big blast, and a lot of flooding. And we've had that here in the past a few years ago. That's not fun either. It's just been a wonderful rain. So now what I'm doing, I got the cows here. I'm letting them out into, got another pasture back here. I started letting them out here probably a week ago, just because the pasture they were in was so burnt up and they had it all chewed down. It's starting to come back now. Trouble with the grass is once it gets so far down like that, it takes it quite a bit to come back. But with the rain we've gotten, that'll really help. And actually, one thing I was really concerned about was our corn. That was starting to curl pretty bad. I was up there last night. It actually looks pretty good. The only thing I noticed, a couple fields in the back had some burn on them on the plants after I sprayed them. I don't know if that had something to do with the corn being that dry. I've talked to some people, said they've seen that a few times this year, and it seems to come out of it. So we'll see. The big field looks really good. So we'll go from there and see how that progresses. Now that we've gotten some rain, I probably will top dress that corn with some fertilizer. I didn't want to do it until I knew we were going to get some rain, because no sense to fertilize it if it's not going to rain. So I did spray it just to knock the weeds out, and that seems to be working good. I'll try to get some video here later, maybe later today, kind of show you on that, how the spray was working and stuff. But and then we did get a semi-load of hay again brought in yesterday. Really some nice looking hay, pretty good price on it. Same guy we had gotten from in a previous video this spring back in March. So I figured with our yield on the first crop was pretty low. If the rain keeps up, we probably will get a second cutting, but we're still going to be on the short end. So I figured, we might as well. They've had really good hay going down where he's from, so I figured I might as well get a load of that anyway. So that's what we did there. Got that unloaded yesterday, and just kind of getting some odds and ends done around here. They're talking some more rain. I got about 20-25 acres of first crop left to cut for hay at a neighbor's farm, and then I think I'm going to cut our oats we planted for hay as well, because with the drought stress they've been under, I don't think they'd yield very well for oats. They'd be light, so we'll probably get going on them once the rain blast is kind of over and get a dry stretch again. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about the rain. I'm not. I'm just the oats I might wrap anyway, so that once they're ready, they're not quite ready yet. Although they're probably, I like to get them for the milk cows before they start to head out. But being as how it's been dry, I think some of them are probably going to start heading out here pretty quick. So that might not be perfect. But if they get too far ahead, they make good, too far along, they make good dry cow feed anyway. So, but if that's going to be wrapped, it's not so picky on the weather. And that hay that I've got left to cut is first cutting on new seeding from last year. It's nice hay. It's getting old now, but it was so short from the dry. So actually, if that has to sit a while and get a little rain, maybe some grass will fill in there anyway, and can use that for dry cow hay as well. And the guy that I farming on there, he's got some beef cattle. Some of that kind of do it on a shares deal, so be good, some good hay for him too. So that's what we're doing now. And then on our manure pipe situation, I know Jen took some video earlier. We dug, if you've seen some of our previous videos on that, the underground pipe from the barn to the manure lagoon plugged last winter. And this spring we pumped the lagoon out. We tried hydrojetting the line, and we got quite a ways in where we should have been under the barn, and we started getting straight sand coming back out. So we quit jetting because I assumed that there was a hole in the pipe, and that's why I was getting all the sand coming back. So Connor came with his mini excavator over there. There it is. We dug up a couple spots. There's one spot in that pipe probably 20 years ago we had dug up, it plugged on my grandpa. So there was a splice in the pipe there. I wanted to dig that up just to make sure that hadn't come apart, and it didn't. And then we did dig one spot closer to the barn just to kind of see if that jetter had left the pipe there or not. It didn't. Well, anyway, I called the dealer, kind of told him what we found. I probably should have called him earlier, but I didn't. And he told me that that sand we were getting out is actually pretty common. That's probably what our problem is. All the years of cows tracking dirt and sand in the barn from the pasture gets into the system there, and you get dips in the pipe and holds that sand. And then if you get a slug of bedding or something that comes through, sweeps it all up and makes a pile out of it and plugs. So he figured that that's what we're hitting, is that sand. So he recommended getting the jetter back out and going after that again, because he said in all the years he's been doing it, and it's been a long time they've been in business, he's only ever seen one pipe blow out. So that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to try that again. I'm going to leave these holes open for now where we dug the pipe up. Actually, right now with the rain, they're full of water. I got to pump that out. But once we get the jetter here, I can hear where that jetter is. So I kind of know that I know where it's at anyway. So just kind of give an idea where the head of that jetter is. But with the rain we've gotten now, and I've still been pumping manure into the lagoon from the overhead pipe, so now the end of the pipe is covered again. So I rented that liquid tanker and the agitator pump from the same guy I did this spring. I got that back, so we are going to try to take a few tank loads out so we can open up the end of the pipe in the lagoon again, so it's easier to get at. Otherwise, you know, you're in hip waders and you're trying to find where you need to be. So I think this will be a better way to go. So that's kind of what's going on there. If he's right and that jetter, we're just dealing with a sand blockage, and that opens it up, that would be great, because I'm pretty sure the end of our jetter was under the barn. If the pipe would happen to be broken there, that could be a mess to fix. So I know some people had mentioned getting a camera in there, maybe doing a liner. I haven't looked into that much yet. If this doesn't work, if the jetter doesn't work, I might look into that more before we start digging under the barn. But we're gonna go from there first. The guy that's got the jetter is pretty reasonable price, not too far away, so that shouldn't be too big of an expense to get him back out. And Connor's got the backhoe here, the mini excavator, and he loves digging in the dirt, so that's pretty reasonable too. So as far as digging or whatever we got to do is usually not too big of a deal. And I have to give a shout out to Connor there. He helps out so much around here all the time. And his mom and dad as well, for allowing us to use, like I said, the skid steer and that mini excavator. Like I said, even we unloaded that semi-load of hay. They let them bring the machine over, and I try to help them when I can. They got kind of started some small beef operation over there and stuff. So you know, like I said, I try to help them when I can if they need it. But I really appreciate them and Connor for the use of that stuff, and for Connor operating it, and he helps out here. Like I said, he helped with doing the barn door and stuff like that when I need. He does a lot of stuff. It's a big help. So that anyway, we're gonna run over here. I'll get kind of show you that hay we bought. I got a bale opened up. I put a little bit out for the cows today. I'm not gonna just exclusively feed this hay. They've still got some grass, especially now with this rain, but they are getting corn silage at night, and that's just about, I would say, another week, and that silo will be empty, and that's all the corn silage I have for now. So this will just be kind of supplemented to the grass and the grain that they get in the barn. And then I mean, if it gets really dry again where the grass is gone, then obviously they'll be getting fed this hay full time. But for now, they've got enough they can pick. It's amazing what that rain brought back when it rained. That was pretty nice. But anyway, here I'll show you. I got a bale of this cut open here. This is that hay here. It's mostly grass. A lot of orchard grass. There's a little alfalfa in there, but boy, it's some really... And it's actually on the dry side. I think the moisture on this was about 20%, which I don't mind. It's actually a little better for me because it's easier for me to move around. They're not so heavy. And these are mostly 3x3 bales. He had a couple 3x4s, but a little bit lighter for me to move around. But boy, it's some really nice hay. It's too bad we don't have smell-o-vision, because I know there's a lot of people watching that really would like the smell of this stuff. But anyway, so that's what we got there. Like I said, it seems to be good feed. I just hauled the first stuff out to the cows today, and they came running for it. So anyway, that's what we got going on now. So we're gonna get some other stuff caught up around here since we got the rain now. Be a couple days before I cut any hay probably. So get some stuff around the yard done. Morning everybody, it's July 1st, about 10 o'clock in the morning. This is Rain here, one of our first calf heifers. She just freshened actually about 20 minutes ago. She had a little bull calf, and I brought it up in front of her, and she didn't want anything to do with licking it off. She actually seemed a little scared of it almost, but sometimes heifers are like that. It's all new to them. But anyway, we were lucky enough that a couple days ago, in the other barn here, Jetta freshened with her own calf a few days ago. So she's in the barn milking now. And if you remember from some of our previous videos, we used her as kind of a foster mom to some other calves that the moms didn't really want to mess with. So I brought this calf up here, and she really was licking it off. She's got it all nice and cleaned up now. So she was back in action again. So she's a good foster mom there. So we'll just leave the calf lay there, let her lick it off a little more, and then I'll get some colostrum milked out of Rain over there and get a bottle in the calf. So that's what's going on this morning.